go interactive with
Fiona. This is enough water to last one person 72 hours?
It most certainly is. I know people expect to see a 4-liter jug or anything, but this will last you 72 hours per one person. And the reason being is there's a lot of electrolytes that have been added into these packages that will carry you through the period for the 72.
Wow. So we're outside St. John Ambulance today, and we're talking about getting prepared for an emergency. It's something that we often think it's going to happen to someone else. It's not going to happen to us. But why is it so important to be prepared?
Well, I think even all the more reason we need to be prepared in Nanaimo is we know that unfortunately there is an earthquake potential for us in the coming years. The statistics say that we're in 1 in 10 chance of having an earthquake in the next 50 years. We can't just focus on obviously earthquakes. There's fires, there's floods that we need to deal with. So you never know when that emergency will happen. And the key is, in most cases, we would not be prepared if we were not ahead of the game.
Absolutely. So we have these kits here that are available at St. John Ambulance, but we're just going to go over some of the stuff here. Now, what is this strange package here?
That is food bars. It's sort of a little bit like the ready-to-eat bars that the military would use. They're nutrition for, again, 72 hours for one person, and obviously an essential need. You do need to get your nutrition into your system. You're not going to be extremely effective in any emergency situation if you're not exactly healthy-wise yourself.
Awesome. And if you have it in your kit and you don't have an emergency for a few years, can this last, or does it need to be replaced?
No, that will last for 5 years.
Okay.
So that's the amazing thing. The water and the bars will last for 5 years, no problem.
Awesome. And here's something that we don't see all that often, especially with the age of cell phones, computers, all that kind of stuff. But what is this?
That is a little radio, and it's a wind-up radio. And the neat thing with that is it doesn't need batteries to operate. And the benefit with that is, obviously, the key is if you didn't replace your batteries, that radio would still operate.
Okay.
The key is what they say is you need to be prepared, we need to have a plan, and the final thing is we need to be informed. And we're being informed by using the radio, because the radio stations, they believe, are one of the first things that will come back in an emergency situation.
So those three things and lots more are available pre-packaged in these kits at St. John Ambulance.
That's correct, and the reason we actually encourage people to use the kits is everything has already been thought out for you. And we have 3 particular kits that we think people should focus on. And one is the kids kit, and the neat thing with that is it's got coloring in books and to keep the kids interested, because it's going to be a difficult time for them. It's very traumatic. The other kit that we have down here is a car kit. Obviously that's something you want to keep in your vehicle at all times, and you'll be prepared. And then finally we have a home kit, which is actually a backpack, which is very easy for you to just throw in your back, especially if you have to leave home and everything's there for you. Yes, it is correct that you can actually go and purchase all these different things from a local store, but the big thing with it is it's going to last you for 5 years.
Right, so you don't have to go on and replace.
Exactly.
And it does seem like it would take a lot of time to kind of gather all of this yourself.
I think it would, and as I said, the key is you don't want to forget anything. St. John's and many of the other emergency organizations are experts in this field, and they know exactly what's needed in a time of an emergency, and all the pre-planning and thought has been made for you already.
So many important items on this table, and they're items that could end up saving someone's life. So where can someone find a list of everything that's recommended in a kit?
Well, there's a great website, emergencyready.ca.
Okay. Well, looks like I'm out of excuses. It's time for me to come down and get one of these kits for myself.
Words with Mayor McKay.
Departure Bay is a favorite place to spend some time by locals as well as visitors, and there's no denying that some improvements are needed in the area, and some of those improvements are coming this fall. Bill, what's going to take place exactly where we're standing, actually?
Well, one of the first things is we're going to level this out. The fact is that people have great difficulty trying to walk along this walkway. I think that perhaps when it was built, it may have been built based on the natural topography as opposed to something with a real plan to it. So it's going to have a much more comfortable feel to it, and hopefully people will feel more comfortable on it. I'm hoping, and I haven't looked at the pictures, but I'm hoping we can give it a little bit more green to it. It feels very stark right now, gray on gray on gray.
I read something of gray water, gray sky, gray cement. I read something about improved ramps and lighting as well when the walkway goes in. I've heard for years and years talk about extending the waterfront walkway from Maffeo Sutton Park right through here to Departure Bay. Is that pipe dreams and just talk, or is
when we've completed our strategic plan a couple of years ago, the #1 priority in that plan was extension of the waterfront walkway. And I'm really disappointed that we haven't got to it yet. We've been dealing with other issues, no doubt about it, but that was really important to me, was to connect this with downtown with a walkway through. From here to the ferry terminal, there's some challenges with the intertidal zone. You have to be very sensitive. There's some very important ecological features taking place there and habitat in there. So we have to be careful with that. But I'd sure like to see this connected so that I think it would be amazing to see this connected with downtown. Imagine being able to get from Hammond Bay Road all the way to downtown Nanaimo by one pathway.
Excellent. Walking or by bicycle. Easier said than done for sure. Now this area, I believe, is a jewel in our town, but it's getting a bit dull. I mean, we have a restaurant that's burnt out. I don't think it's open anymore. We have a closed down surf shop. We have a parking lot or an empty lot. This has the potential in my mind, and always has, of something like White Rock, little eateries and boutiques and an actual attraction for people to come. How come that's not happening here, or hasn't?
I think part of it is just the masses. You need critical mass. And if you look at Vancouver and White Rock, the ability for them to attract people, that's the major component. You know, we keep talking about food trucks, for example. They've got to be able to survive based on the number of visitors. You could make this an iconic area, and I think that's something that we should look at, you know, as time goes on, perhaps redevelopment of the park. People places are the most important for communities. Mm-hmm. So if you can create attractive, fun people places, then I think you're well on your way.
And that lot that we referred to is actually a First Nations burial ground, and that is part of the challenge in developing this area further?
Not necessarily. In fact, we use it as a detriment when in fact it could be a positive. We've never actually sat down with Nanaimo to ask them what they'd like to see there in that lot. So they're all about getting people in to see and learn about Nanaimo and Coast Salish peoples. I think they'd be more than welcome to put in some sort of a small interpretive center of some sort as an attraction to the area.
Excellent. Okay, so it is a place that could use some improvement, which is an opportunity. Those improvements to Departure Bay will take place, as we mentioned, early in the fall, and that has all been in cooperation with the Departure Bay Neighborhood Association to support their neighborhood plan. We're here at the Nanaimo Community Gardens, and there's also a community garden at Irwin and Needham, and they have work parties every Sunday and Tuesday. If you'd like more details on how you can get involved in that and how the program works, the best thing to do is go online, nanaimocommunitygardens.ca. We're going to be back with more fabulous stuff after a short break. Still to come, exploring the Ladysmith Farmers Market, a few leftover seconds with Clocked, and the Coast Guard is inspecting vessels as we head into boating season.
Go interactive with
Me, Kelly.
Hold your hand out.
Oh, thank you.
We're here in the parking lot of 49th Parallel in Ladysmith, and this is the spring market. Linda, what can you tell us about the spring market here?
The spring market here has been wonderful. I have a great selection of vendors. Because it's small, we've kept the vendor pool very elite and unique, so you won't find two of anything. I think your mom's recipes? This is where you're seeing vendors are going nowadays, is the specializing. So they have picked what they do, and they do it better. Because we are a farmer's market, we have the make it, bake it, grow it tenet, which means everybody has to produce their own. It's kind of cool that all of these people do everything. They're their own marketers, they're their own producers, their own production teams.
Your grandson's selling popcorn.
He is.
That's just too adorable. Thank you. This is great. And you made this with your family. So this location, this is just the spring location.
That's right.
But it's going to be moving locations for the summertime.
To Transfer Beach.
Okay, so just a hop, skip, and a jump.
That's right,
down
down
the
to the
road.
water, and how beautiful. Spend the day on the beach, see the market. It's a great destination, and lots of room, lots of parking, lots of room, which is a big issue in a market.
And what day of the week is this all happening? When can people come and enjoy this?
Tuesday. So at the spring market, we are open from 9 o'clock in the morning to 1. When we move to Transfer Beach, we go from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock to maximize the whole beach experience.
Awesome. Well, you're going to have to come and check it out and taste this popcorn for yourself. This is good stuff. You must have a good family recipe.
Go Island presents seconds with cloth.
Can I ask you a question? No. We're looking for something. No, I hate cameras. You hate cameras? We don't have any cameras.
Rejected.
It's like I'm a teenager again. I'm just gonna keep getting rejected over and over and over again. Luckily, I'm a grown man and I'm not so sensitive. I used to just break down and cry. Go in a fetal position, suck my thumb, but I don't do that anymore because I'm a grown man.
This has been Seconds with Clocked.
I kind of feel like Alice in Wonderland, and you know the Crimson Coast Dance Society is hosting their annual Mad Hatta Tea Party on June the 6th. That takes place at the Grand Hotel from 1:30 until 4. You do need to pick up your tickets in advance. You can probably do that online, crimsoncoastdance.org. I took my daughter, I think it was last year, and it was a ton of fun. It really is a great way to spend an afternoon out with high tea and lots of absurdity and crazy hats. Lots of fun. Mad Hatter Tea Party, big fundraiser for the Crimson Coast Dance Society. Well, I'm trying to get some momentum on a swing. Kevin Chirac is trying to get some momentum with a sailboat.